too nice.
It is lovely.
This isn't the music that I put on originally. Oh my goodness!
Oh.
Hi everybody! Hi! Woohoo! We're having vegetarian pizza, but we got also meat.
It is delicious.
We are live.
We're happy too.
And you are magical.
We love it.
All right, we're here live having a party. It's kind of like a wake. If you like Donald Trump, we don't judge. Some people like him, some people don't. I brought the therapist, Marsha. Oh, she gets overstimulated like that.
Oh.
Anyway, let's say hi to people. Do you want to come closer so you can say hi to everybody?
Sure.
Homini's here.
Hi, Hominy.
Mary Beth Roden.
Hi, Mary Beth.
Yeah, let's start saying hi. Do you want another piece of pizza?
No, that's perfect.
I'm going to grab some more pizza. I got chicken white sauce, too. Tell me what you're eating, everybody.
You know what? That's too tiny. I got to get my glasses.
Got to get your glasses. Hi, Low Mother Earth. Kate Ingram. Good to see everybody. Looks like we have 100 people at our party right now.
Hey!
Woohoo!
We are happy that you're here.
So for people who don't know who Marsha Martin is, and also Tani will be joining us as well. Marsha Martin is a licensed therapist. She is also a professional remote viewer. And she uses remote viewing. You didn't get your hat.
Oh my goodness.
She uses heart-centered remote viewing technique to help people who are dealing with trauma. Well, you
Yeah,
it looks amazing! Woohoo! So we're here. So I thought because it is a little heavy, next week the formal impeachment hearings are starting. So I know people are upset. I was a little upset when I did the remote on it, even though it's not my, I felt for the people that had voted for him.
Well, and this is a heavy time of year because every religion, all around the world, people focus on this time. They're all focused. Everybody is focused on something at this time. Throughout the rest of the year, people are all, holidays happen at different times. We're all doing our own thing. At December, we all focus in on a specific point. All of the major religions have a holiday at this time of year. And so everybody gets sort of microcosmically focused on...
Hi, Chatty Kathy. We have a moderator here too, Noel.
Oh, hi, Noel.
Somebody had said, what about the children in the cages? Well, that's part of the grief, right? The fact that this didn't have to happen, that none of this had to happen. And I kind of see it as like we were attacked by a foreign government. And unfortunately, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube was complicit in a way. I mean, those are my own personal opinions, which obviously if somebody hires me as a remote viewer, they don't care what I think. But as a person, as a civilian, those are the things I think. Looks like Don Daniels is having chicken, chili, and cauliflower crust gluten-free pizza. The neighbor's deer ate the leftover Halloween pumpkins. Well, that's not bad. Today, quite the feast for them. Hello from Hope Ramirez. Hominy is, we've already said hi to her, and we say hello again. Miss Sharon, welcome. Spirit. It's rainy in San Diego. Oh, Kathy W. also is here doing a little help with the moderating.
Oh, lovely.
All right. Can you just greet people while I get some more pizza? Do you want to try the other pizza?
No, I haven't even finished this.
Okay, I'm getting more food.
All right, guys. Okay, hold on while I put my glasses on so I can see you. Kathy W., Tribal Woman, Michelle Taylor, Lori Sue.
Michelle Taylor is awesome.
We are delighted you have joined us. Wait a minute. I'm doing this screwy here, everybody. How did I do? Oh, wait a minute. I lost my place. Hang on, guys.
You just learning how to use that?
It went faster than I expected. Gretchen, Michelle, Sarah, Renee,
Yeah, there's a lot of us.
Loretta, Emmy Lou.
We've got
Tracy.
269 people at our party.
Lovely.
That's a
We love
crowded
it.
party.
We are happy, delighted. But, good point that because this is something that whether you voted for him or you didn't, we suffered or celebrated
We suffered as a planet.
and as a country. And certainly the people that he chose to act against were hurt desperately. But those who thought that he was representing them are now getting kind of a backlash. What happened? I thought this was my big savior. So let's make sure that we move forward in love, that we move forward in kindness, and no finger pointing. This is a gentleman who, I'm talking about Trump, who believes that what he is doing is the right thing. His followers, I think, are also
Do you
of
really
the same.
think he believes he's doing the right thing? Because a lot of people think he has no conscience at all. As a therapist, do you think he's got a cluster B personality disorder? Like, have you ever diagnosed him as a therapist? Or do you feel like that's beyond what you want to be doing with someone you've never worked with? I mean, I don't know.
Right. I've never worked with him. And I judge from what I've heard from him that he is very concerned about his appearance. And he believes that he is doing things that are the right thing to do. I don't know that he's in touch with the reality of what his actions will bring forth.
Right.
But I do believe that he somehow has the understanding or the belief that what he is doing is a good thing. Or, good is not the right word for him.
Hi, Mark. Mark and I are going to dinner, or we're going to go see Harriet. I kind of want to see Harriet, Mark, so you might get me an address.
Ooh.
Yeah. He invited
like
me to a screening.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. So what all are people eating? We had one person who was doing a pizza, I think. Oh, here's the other guest.
Hooray.
Yay, more people.
Yay.
Welcome.
And I've got your party hat.
Come on in, we're live. Hello.
Hi.
Oh, what happened to my hat? Oh, it's on my head.
Whoopsie.
Hi.
Here, I've got a party hat for you.
Oh, thank
You
you.
can sit over there.
Okay. I have a mini emergency. I just left my phone in my Lyft ride.
Aww.
You left your phone in the lift ride.
Do you need to use my phone?
Connie's here.
Hello.
Come say hi.
Do you want to use my phone?
There's 345 guests at our party.
Hi, everybody.
This is one of my closest friends, Tawny, and she's learning to be a remote viewer,
Oh, no.
a professional empath.
Well,
Right in my purse. You see my phone? Just call him and tell
So
him.
wait a minute, you know for sure that you
Well-
lost your phone?
yeah,
If it's not
because,
in there, it's got to be
yeah,
in the list.
and it's not in my pocket. And I was in the car.
So how are you going to get it back?
You can file a claim with Lyft.
Uh-oh.
See my phone? Right in my purse?
So we do have a little emergency. These things happen.
I'll let you go.
It's
Sorry.
such a...
Hi, everybody. Minor.
All right,
It's like,
let's get to some questions. And I can do some throws for people. If people want like a quick private question,
Oh, sure.
as long as it's not too personal, I might be able to do that as well.
I'm Tommy Bunner.
I'm Marcia.
And
Marcia, nice
because
to
we do have a professional remote viewer here and a therapist and someone who's learning to be a professional empath, you guys will be in good shape. Hi, Fillerin. Good to see you.
I'll go ahead and see.
Lady
Is it okay?
Furtibic.
Sure.
Diane W.
Sure.
Noel.
I don't have Lyft.
Moderator
I don't have a Lyft, but you
extraordinaire.
can download it if you need it.
Magdalena Martinez Santos. Aloha from Lisa. Oh, so Mark is giving applause. Did he better tell me what we're doing. Are we going to a movie? We should not go for pizza because I'm having a ton of pizza. Oh, by the way, if you're hungry, there's food in the bag.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I will partake.
No, Mila wants back in. See, Mila wants in, Mila wants out. So Victoria,
She's so
Texas,
cute.
Nancy from Victoria, Texas. Good to see you. Pierre Walker, hello. Homemade lentil soup, yum, yum, and cranberry bread. That sounds delicious. I had something kind of like that. I had for breakfast. I had a cinnamon raisin bagel with cream cheese toasted.
Nice.
It was very delicious. Yeah.
I just made split pea soup with a ham bone.
Oh, really?
Wow, delicious.
Yeah. Simple.
Yeah.
How long did you have to cook that for?
I cooked it for hours. Just.
Oh, that's good. Did you whip it?
No, I used chicken broth though instead of water.
Oh, cool.
And I thought that gave it more taste.
Ginger ale. Yeah, we're doing Italian soda.
And it's delicious.
Oh, we're getting some questions. So I need to go grab my
I brought lots of water.
My thing, because we're gonna get some questions. And I gotta wipe my
my
stuff off.
And if I have to read the thing, but I can't.
Well, people are asking questions about the future. Any super chats, just let us know where you want us to donate the super chats. We are donating to American Forest this month. They have a match this month, which means that for every $1 we donate, $1 will be planted by, I guess, a millionaire or something is matching our donations this month.
Lovely.
And if you don't tell me where the money is going, it's going towards my move to Portland, Oregon.
Amen.
Woo! And eventually, who knows, maybe property. I don't know. I'm going back and forth about whether or not I should buy.
All right. Well, I'm not sure I want you to go. So
you can come with me. They've got rent control too. They've got rent control now in Oregon.
Oh.
Which means you can put more money aside to eventually buy, right? Because if you have all your money's going to rent, anyway, it's a great state. So I'm going to get my board so we can do some work.
Okay.
Woohoo! All right, let's see about the questions here. Some people want us to do some personal questions. Mila is going in. Should we let Mila back in?
Sure.
You want to let her back in? You're kind of stuck. Hold this. Okay. You know, I started off playing music from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. I put that channel on. I was going to put that on, but for whatever reason, it's not the channel that played. And the first song that was listed was Highway to Hell. What is that supposed to mean? Okay, we have a $20 donation for American Forest. Thank you. How many you have given birth to 40 trees because of the match program this month. And we wish you a mazel tov. We wish you a mazel tov. And I know Gaia is very appreciative of the 40 trees you have given birth to. All right. Somebody had a question for me, and I'm happy to. Oh, can we check in about the Electoral College and where they are right now should Trump get in? Let's do a simple prayer. We'll go ahead and we'll do the Electoral College, and then we can also do some private readings for people for charity. All right, we want to call on white light protection for myself and our viewers as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and good angels to be with us. Give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us so that we can make the best decisions for ourselves, for the people we love, for the planet, and even for those people we have strife with. And let us say amen. All right. All right. So there was a question about the Electoral College. I know the Electoral College has been an issue. Let's take a look.
You just use this,
okay,
and it's still open, and then here's
okay.
the.
Thank you.
So if you want the keypad?
Okay, there's this.
If you need to step out and deal with that in the kitchen, that would be cool.
Thanks. I'm a
Yeah.
little bit
And
distracted.
you can also get yourself some food while you're in there.
Okay.
Okay, what is going on with the Electoral College? And then when I'm doing that, could you go into are you comfortable going into a remote and taking a look at the Electoral College? And then I'll ask your opinion next.
Sure.
So we're also going to have a live Chic and Trance live. So we'll also have Marcia doing a remote on it. If you'd like to find out more about Marcia Martin's work, and if you'd like to get a therapy session with her, her name is Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer, and you can find her on Facebook, and she's also on YouTube. And she's actually my friend, and she was my therapist during my divorce. So I can attest to the fact that she's very good.
And just to help, my name is spelled Marcia, because I do get that. I do cause a lot of problems.
And she's the real deal. She has 2 master's degrees.
Hi, this is Tom. Is there anyone? Okay.
All right, let's see about the Electoral College.
There's a heck of a lot of energy.
It's okay. It's on
I think it went all the way to the
it's on
Supreme Court.
Fountain and Poinsettia.
You said that. That just lit me up on fire.
Thieves tried to steal something. So the first thing is the thief's card, and then grief. So there was a theft, and there was grief. This might be because we had problems in North Carolina, Georgia, etc. But you can definitely see a thief card here, and grief is the current situation right now for the Electoral College.
Uh-huh.
I think that's the state of the election in general. It was stolen.
There's
And it was
hope.
grief.
We have a nice star card.
612-424.
Back and forth. I keep getting Texas. For those of you who are in Texas, I see problems in Texas. I see potentially them trying to hold on. There's a huge lobby in Texas, both with the oil industry, but also with the cattle industry. So I'm really worried about Texas right now. Walking away from something. Chariot is movement. 4 of Wands is coming in, hanging it up. I think we're going to be okay. I think, though, that different states are going to have different policies, because the 2 of Pentacles would indicate that not every state is going to be fair. So we're still going to have problems in some states. But yes, Mila, you're a star. But I think we're going to be okay. I think it's going to be much better than it was, just because the base of the matter going in, the first house was the star card, which is to receive an anointing or blessing. But there are also cards here that indicate there could be shenanigans and problems in some of the states. And when I go into the remote, I get Texas. Do you have anything that you're picking up for the any stealing of the election in 2020 or problems with the electorate? Any states you're getting hot on?
Well, I think what we need to concentrate on this time is less what is potentially coming at us now, and let's focus on what we do want, because we get so caught up in, oh my gosh, here comes this big avalanche, we forget how powerful we are energetically. What we need to be doing is projecting this energy of love, that we want the election to go forward in the way that will be for the highest good of all concerned. So it's less about, I want this person or that person, and it's more about who has the heart to serve the country and to help the most people.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
If we can get away from this is good for me and I don't care about him, and into what is best for the most people, we will make the most progress as a country, as a world. And we are being asked to move out of the place of competition into the space of cooperation. So let's begin with that, with our hearts wide open. Understand that there is interference.
And that person, when you can look at things objectively, they may not be your first pick. It may be, okay, who is the candidate that's going to unite us and help this country move forward to be our best self. I want to give a shout out to Lynn McDougall, who has given birth to 40 trees.
Wow, lovely, Lynn.
I don't think they look much like her, but I think Gaia's pretty darn happy with her right now.
I bet they're all beautiful blooming trees.
7228.
7228.
I can't do this live, obviously.
Okay.
So why don't you give me a pen and paper so that I can write it down, so that the entire world doesn't know my address.
Here, you know what though? I have it on a piece of paper.
Okay, sounds good. As you can see, this is real life, as they say.
Here, honey.
All right. Oh, did we get a freeze? No, there we go. Oh, Mila, yes, Mila is all over the place. She wants attention and love, and she knows there are 473 fellow people here. I am sensing that the state of Texas will be a huge awakening to look closely at what's really happening here. Yeah, I would love feedback from the people in Texas because I'm a little concerned. Every time I scan the state, I get stopped in Texas and it's like a battleground. And then when I go further into that energy, I see the old oil money and the cattle industry, and they do not want that state to turn blue. So, will they break the law in order to do that? I don't know. We'll see. Mila, somebody donated $5 to your catnip fund. Thank you very, very much. And on that note, can you hold this? I think we need to give Mila some catnip.
You get all the good things, huh?
Mila. Yes. Would you like some of this? Come on, let's go. Catnip. There you go. No, for the catnip fund. Woohoo! Thank you. All right, so we had another question. I dislike Trump and I hate all the damage he has done, but I also feel like he needs a good hug. Good hug bad. He needs a lot of help. I think we agree on that.
And I think what a lovely thing to say. We can disagree with each other. We don't have to have the same opinion about everything. But if we remember, gosh, we're all occupying this same space. And if we can do it with kindness, then we all prosper together. So I think I would love to give him a hug as well. I wouldn't choose to reelect him.
I would be afraid of what he did to me once I hugged him. I'm a little scared of that guy. He might go grabbing something he shouldn't be grabbing. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel about it. I don't want that man touching me. I bless you from a distance. It's like Marianne Williamson says, I love you from a distance.
Hello again.
Okay, let's see what we got going on here. San Antonio, Texas updated her voting machines to create a paper trail. Thank God.
Excellent.
But they still have a problem with gerrymandering.
Well, love overcomes fear. So let's send love to those voting machines, to the people that are in charge of them, and to the voting populace that they are going to do the right thing.
Yeah. Texas has been wooing the tech industry, and it will turn around and bite them because most techies are young. I left. Mila is transforming into the Cheshire Cat. She is. She's very clever. Republicans. Oh, I missed that. What were they saying about not me, no hugs? Noel, that's completely okay. You have a right to have boundaries and say, I don't think I want to hug Grandpa today. It's completely okay. Ooh, looks like you've got a fan over there, Tawny.
I know.
What are you picking up about? Oh, I have a message. I had a psychic dream last night. I got to tell people about this. I had a psychic dream. I was in a university. It looked like the old Bastyr University campus, which is one of the med schools I went to. And I had two dreams. I had a dream before that with Lindsey Graham, but I'll talk about this one. It was with Giuliani. So everybody's running to class. So it dawned on me, it must be people preparing it must have been how my subconscious dealt with the fact that they're all hunkering down, the professors, the law people, and they're dealing with this impeachment, right? All the legal eagles are getting together. So in my mind, I saw it as, medical school. But it was a round room, right? Or it was a round building, and we were walking around. And then as I'm walking, I'm seeing all these Congress people and whatnot. And Giuliani walks next to me. And he was very nice to me. And I said, Mr. Giuliani, what's going on? What do you think Trump's going to do? And he said, it's already over. He's resigning. So I thought that was kind of interesting that the energy from Giuliani was, no, he's already resigning. It's almost like he passively is allowing it to take its course in the House, but he's probably agreed to something in exchange for immunity. remember when we did the remote view last year and we went into Robert Mueller's energy? Do y'all remember what Robert Mueller said?
Always get my God.
Sooner or later, you're gonna be mine. Sooner or later, you're gonna be fine. Because I always get my man. So last night when I did a remote, I found myself surrounded by all these webs. I was like trapped by a spider, and everywhere I went, there was a web. One little web, another little web, and then the next thing I knew, I was completely trapped in this web and I couldn't get out. And those webs that have been slowly and meticulously woven through good policing for the last 2.5 years is what Trump has found himself in. I had an angry comment from somebody who unsubscribed that said, I can't believe you're saying these things about Pence. Pence is horrible. My job as a remote viewer is not to have an opinion when I'm in the remote state, because when you go into the remote state, as you'll testify to, your personal ego self isn't there, right?
And you don't want it there, because then you're going to skew the evidence. You're going to not be able to do the work that you're here to do.
Right. You're just supposed to put your emotions aside and try to get into the head of the person that you're remote viewing. So when I did that remote and got into the head of the attitude from the Republicans, they are saying, if you leave, we'll pardon you. You got to go because we got to save this for Pence and Nikki Haley, because if Nikki Haley's on the ticket, we might stand a chance, but you got to go. So if you can agree privately to go, we got to deal with Mueller. You got to go, 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 go. We can't protect you from state charges, but if you get out now, we've reached a consensus. You got to go. So it goes back to the remote we did 2 years ago when it was a private chat before it went public, and Lindsey Graham had said in the vision, Mr. President, we have reached a consensus in the Senate. We give you the honor of resigning. Remember that?
Well, and I think we need to remember that the political machine is always looking forward. So they have.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
They are probably looking at Donald Trump as impassively as a remote viewer is and saying, okay,
Done.
yeah.
Yeah, you're done. You're at 42% and dropping in the House. Let's let the Democrats have their fun. You can't come back from this. When you're dropping to about 38%, which he will be within 3 weeks, he's going to have a very nice. He should have a nice Christmas. We want him to have a nice Christmas,
lovely holiday.
but it's over. It's
Love, peace.
Yeah, Love Peace. Thank you for Love Peace has given birth to 40 babies. They are trees. They should live. They should be strong pine. Love Peace. They should grow to be strong pine. Yes, it's lovely. Yes,
Scottish pine.
yes, Mazel Tov, as they say. Yes. Trump reminds me of my dad. I'm sorry, Margaret, except Dad wasn't evil. Well, that's good. I'm in Texas. Julie Dow says she's in Texas. And I think we will turn blue. There are a lot of new young people who have moved into all of the big cities who vote blue. Yeah, that's what I saw. But that also goes back to my concerns that there's going to be attempts to, we could uncover some corruption in Texas for that reason, because it is tipping, as is Arizona. An energy hug. Yes, I think that would be a good idea.
No, that gets rid of all the other
Dr. Nuts. Funny. Ronnie, what's happening with Mueller? Mueller will come back. We did. Remember, we did the remotes with Robert Mueller that he and Rosenstein. A year and a half ago, we knew everything was going to be okay, because when we went into the remote view, they already had set the traps, and we were already working closely with British intelligence. And then, was it a week ago, we did the remote where we tried to get into British intelligence. I never can see anything, but they did send us a message. And the message we got when we got into the energy is kind of like, enjoy your life. Enjoy your holidays, go about your lives, and it's going to be okay, and you're going to know everything that we know in a very short amount of time. So that told me from that remote that everything is coming out in the next couple of weeks. everything that we're supposed to know. We're not supposed to know about the secret deals between the Senate and the president because it would make us mad. But if he basically resigns before sentencing, once they reach a private consensus, then he's going to be basically off federal charges. But Mueller wanted a full signed confession, even though it was sealed. That was what he was. That was what he was going for as a prosecutor.
I don't know if they'll give him that though.
Oh, I think that Mueller's going to get exactly what he wants.
Yeah.
Yes, because he's created this web, and what he wanted was a full signed sealed confession from Donald Trump.
But if he resigns, he may refuse to sign anything, any admission of guilt.
But if he resigns, he can still face federal charges because some of what he did when he was not the president. So he's in trouble. He's not going to be protected if he broke the law. The problem with him, and this is something I also saw with him, with Roger Stone and with some of their pals, is that they were avoiding paying their taxes by sending it to overseas accounts and also by engaging in illegal money laundering. So what happened was that all those people, including Roger Stone, are facing state charges. They could go to state penitentiary. And so for that reason, Trump cannot save them. Everybody who didn't pay their state taxes in New York is facing criminal charges by the state. And so for that reason, Roger Stone is going to cooperate. That's basically what I saw.
And I'm thinking the more they squeeze the players, the less camaraderie there is, the more confessions you get.
That's right. Yeah. So Roger Stone is definitely, yeah. Oh, well, so I, the thing that was kind of cool for me, the educational, Glenda she's a #1 fan, $10. And if she doesn't tell me where it's going to buy my Pete's coffee. But thank you for the donation, Glenda Holloway. And she's my #1 fan. Hopefully you like Marsha Martin as well. Therapist extraordinaire.
Hello.
How often do you get to meet a therapist that's a trained remote viewer? Really welcome, Angela. Good to see you. Hopefully everybody's having some great snacks. We're now at 615 people at our party, Marsha. We were a hit. Yay! Did you get enough pizza?
It was divine.
Are you going to go get some more? No?
I'm good.
All right. So I have a couple questions for Marsha because I want to talk to her a little bit about what it's like to be an empath. I know that you had some challenges growing up. I don't know how much you want to share, but I say that empaths are not born, we are made. You want to talk a little bit about how you realized you were an empath and how you learned to get control of it and become a professional empath for people that are thinking of becoming professional empaths?
Okay, that's a curious statement that you feel that empaths are made, because I would say the absolute opposite, because most of the people that I talk with, I said, let's go back, let's walk it back. How early do you remember being able to feel odd things in the room? Some people have told me they feel them from the womb. I knew my mother didn't want me. I knew I was heading into a stressful situation. I knew this. To me, and also the way I look at the life journey is that it would be completely unfair for God to ask us to drop into a situation in which we had no prior consent and we had no knowledge of what was going to happen. So it is my understanding and my firm belief that we have some understanding of what is going to happen. We have sort of a roadmap. We don't know what it's going to be like because it changes depending on the amount of people that are in the situation with us and how they choose to conduct themselves within our lives. But we have to have a basic idea of what's going to happen, and we have to give consent for that. Otherwise, it would be completely unfair, and this stuff would hit us out of the blue. We would get knocked off our feet and not be able to get back up again. So because we have a basic idea of what might happen, it doesn't have to, but what might happen, we can bring in the kind of
Yes, I think it's really
strengths.
important for people to realize that we don't really see the future as remote viewers. What we see is the energy. And then following the energy, we can see the most likely conclusion. But I've seen people save marriages that I thought were hopeless. I mean, I said, I'm sorry to say, when I go into this remote, if you continue on this trajectory, you are, whether you're consciously aware of it or not, destroying your marriage. And I've seen people turn it around. I've seen people go into counseling with you and turn it around.
Oh, yes, because there is no, this is the only way it can be. There is, if you continue on this way of operating, this is the way it will be, because this is the only outcome you're allowing. But the minute you go over here, or you say, gee, I'm open to more, you've expanded the possibilities for your life. And that's what we need to remember. Donald Trump is at this place because he chose to continue along the same trajectory.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I got very depressed when I saw him making those choices. But and I want to give a quick shout out to Catherine Bush. Thank you so much for the donation, Catherine. And Christy Price, thank you so much for the donation for my move to Portland. I will definitely use it, and I'm very excited. I'm probably going to be using it to purchase a pod. Thank you as well. We have another donation coming up. Okay, we got Catherine. Thank you. And Anna Macedo, $9.99. Thank you so much as well.
The 9 is the lovely number of completion.
Oh,
so.
Is it really? Cool. But I think that what Marcia was saying is that he had already done so much damage before he even got into the White House. That, he had sexual assault allegations, etc. That it was basically already baked, because the karma had already been created. Is that basically how you saw it?
Yes, but even then, if he had chosen it anywhere along the way to change his stance, but he just got more rigid. He got more hardwired into the I'm going to build the wall kind of way of living, instead of saying, gosh, let me entertain this thought or that thought, or can we have a roundtable discussion about what would be best? He was steamrolling over people, and that is not a way to change the direction that your life is going. You got to listen, you got to be open, you got to be flexible.
Thank you, PJB, for the $10 donation. We appreciate it. I think we should start doing some readings for the group now. Let's get off the Trump train crash. I think we know where this is headed. I was going to say also I had a dream with Lindsey Graham in it, and he took me to a beautiful island off the coast. And he was quite flirtatious and very romantic. And I was thinking, God, I didn't know you were like that, Mr. Graham. He was like wooing me. But then I really liked the energy, and I think what it symbolized for me is that everything is going to be okay, and that I think that we're going to see this pass very soon. But it was interesting to see Lindsey Graham like that, because I think that it is going to be him coming in and helping with the transition, so to speak.
And wouldn't it be lovely if the politicians start ruling the public? And start saying,
I'm not that optimistic.
Gosh, what would you like? What would make your life better?
I'm not that optimistic, but the fact that Lindsey Graham is trying to be nice to a progressive tells me that they're going to pull away from this president. I guess that's how I interpreted it. All right, let's do some we can do some quick we'll do 6-card spreads for anybody that wants a quick 6-card spread. Somebody wants to know if and I'll ask you to go into a remote as well. Deborah Benston wants to know if her uncle will be successful. He's having a surgery. I don't know your uncle's name. It would be easier if we had the name, but I just want to ask if her uncle's surgery is going to be okay.
when I speak with your uncle, he's telling me, help me get my attitude in a place where I feel that it's possible for me to have a successful surgery. So your job is to support your uncle and remind him that if he goes in with a great attitude, he's now working in concert with his doctors, and it's easier for the doctors to do their job and for his body then to heal from whatever surgical procedure he has. So always, if we want to support someone that we love, lift them up, remind them of what's going right, and let go of what's wrong.
Mm-hmm. Stress, Tower coming in. I would definitely say that it's a surgery that may have happened because of he may feel that he didn't take care of certain things, or there was something that needed to be addressed that, if it was a health decision, and unfortunately now it's gotten to the point of a Tower where he needs the surgery. The fact that there's a page of pentacles there with the female surgeon, the Queen of Swords over it, the Ace of Cups, smoother waters. Lovely. He has very good doctors. You can see the Master's card. He's in the best possible hands he can be in. That's what I would say. And we'll also hold the light for him. I know that Marcia does that with all of her patients. She puts them in a positive light, and just to keep encouraging him to have positive thoughts. The good news about his cards is that he's surrounded by masters and people that really know what they're doing. So, yeah, that's what we got. That was our collective reading.
But always remember, it's your attitude that makes the difference. If you decide you don't want something to go forward for whatever reason, nobody is going to be able to help that go forward for you. So we've got to take responsibility for our part. If he decides, I'm going to allow this surgery to be successful, even if he had bozo surgeons, it would be successful. But he's got the top of the top, so he's in excellent hands. Just encourage him to see the outlook, the desired outcome, and not to step into fear.
Janine Summers would like to know if you have anything you're picking up about her health issues, and I'll go ahead and do a quick throw for Janine as well. The main thing I get with Janine is stress.
You got to step out of the panic. Accept the healing that is trying to get to you. You keep coming to me and saying, I need help, I need help, I need help. Let it go, let it go. You're okay. Take a step back. I'm going to put around you a blanket of pink and gold light, which is simply unconditional love. And I want you just to take it in. Let go of whatever you've heard or whatever you've been told, and visualize the outcome that you want to receive. You got to come from a place of peace and not panic.
Mm-hmm. And I would encourage, this is talking a lot about trying to avoid bitterness because of a feeling of betrayal, like a feeling of potentially of betrayal, walking away from relationships that were stressful or difficult. And not internalizing other people's cruelty. Also, you have some food allergies possibly you might want to get tested for because I'm getting something in the nervous system. I'm also getting inflammation. So this looks like it could potentially be like a gluten or a dairy sensitivity coming up with her. I don't know if thyroid is also being affected, but this is chronic pain. But there's an emotional aspect due to selfishness or feeling as if you had to leave situations that were potentially toxic or kept you in exile. It has an aspect to it where other people's negativity beating you down is also a factor in your health. But I'm seeing food sensitivities, and maybe she might even, it looks like it could even be affecting the nervous system.
Makes sense.
Isn't that interesting? Anyway, so yeah. I would look into finding a naturopathic doctor that can help you with like an anti-inflammatory diet. And I would look into possibly getting food testing, and do not internalize other people's issues because it really has nothing to do with you. That's a big one. Boundaries.
Yep.
She's probably an empath with cards like
well,
this.
When Whimsy said selfish, your whole energy just imploded. She's not saying that you're selfish. She is saying you have people around you that are more interested in their well-being than in yours or the combined you. So you are not a selfish person, and it's okay for you to step away from the needs of other people or from meeting their needs and attend to yourself.
Elizabeth Haynes is an empath and she suffers from panic attacks. Is there any advice you can give her?
Well, the most important thing that you can do is ground and shield. That is what we need to remember. It is so easy as an empath and working with the angels to want to get into that space. That energetic space feels so good. There's no stress, there's no pressure, there's just, and we like to stay there. But we need to remember that part of the most important part of being in a physical body is being available for the physical experience. And that means grounding. When you ground, you send your energy into the electrical grid of the earth, which is not, don't think of it as roots, like you're going to be solid, you're going to be stuck in one place. The grid is flowing and constantly exchanging the energy of renewal and rebirth. So that's why we ground, so that we can constantly renew this physical body. And then we also align with the divine, so you connect with the divine, and then shield yourself so that you decide, and not someone else, what you're going to be accepting into your auric field. Make your shield filled with unconditional love. So you'll be sending out love, and when anybody sends you negativity, it will hit your loving shield and return as love. If the person chooses not to accept it, it just simply goes on to someone else or comes back eventually to you.
We've got some super chats. I want to just say a quick shout out to Jody Roberts. She's donated $19.99 for the trees. That translates into 40 tree babies. So we wish her congratulations on the birth of her babies. We also want to give a shout out to Liz. Liz has donated $20.99 for my move. And also she wants to, thanks from Calgary, from Noah and Bernie, my dogs. And I'm watching. I love dogs. That's so cool. I love animals. She has an amazing dog.
Yuki.
I want to give a thank you to Mary Beth Roden. She's donated $19.99.
All this completion. I love it.
Is that what the Laura, hello from Laura. She has donated $4.99. We donated almost $1,000 last month to charity.
Wow. You guys are amazing.
What's cool about it is we come together as a collective, and rather than dwell on everything that's screwed up in the world, I just thought, this is ridiculous. Let's fix it. Let's build a forest.
Amen.
You know? And that's precisely what we've been doing. We've been building a forest.
Yeah. And remember, law of attraction. What you focus on is what you receive. So you're focused on building, you're focused on creating a better, safer world for everyone. That means your world is going to become more prosperous, safer, better in every way, because your focus is on creating good. So you have to receive that which you've created.
There's a lot of questions here. Somebody had asked a question about MS, but I'm having trouble finding it. Janice Raphael, health issues about kidney and hiatal hernia. Hiatal hernia is common as we get older, as our muscles become weaker. Sometimes the stomach can push through there's an opening, a natural opening in the diaphragm. And so that's why we will see hiatal hernias more common as we get older. Kidneys, it depends on what the type of kidney condition is, but usually we will put a person on a kidney healthy diet. And that's usually low protein. And we also want to make sure that we monitor electrolytes. And there are some Chinese herbs that can be helpful for kidney function as well, or what we call supporting the Jing. Reishi mushroom is considered pretty safe. And is often put into formulas for kidney support. Heishi Wu is another one I try to get my herbs organic, and even though they're Chinese herbs, they're grown in the United States. So I would go towards a good organic company that produces some of those types of kidney support formulas. I would probably see a Chinese doctor. That would probably be the direction I would go in for kidney health.
I think I just want to point out, every time this happens, I get so excited because look at the perfect world we live in. All right, so our kidneys have the ability to malfunction, but God has already given us the support that we need in order to get back on. Right. And here's Whimsy with the information to help you go in that direction. So get off the sad that it happened and on the happy that there's an answer.
We don't, if a person has kidney failure, then we actually we want to monitor that they don't take up too much potassium, because they have trouble filtering potassium, and that can actually potentially damage somebody with kidney disease. So we actually will make sure they don't have high amounts of potassium in the diet. It depends again on the type of kidney disease they have and what the doctor's recommending, but we do monitor the electrolytes. Too much potassium, though, can actually damage kidneys, so we do monitor that. Minutimaya. Oh, she has given birth to 10 tree babies, but that translates into 20 tree babies because we have the match program this month. And half for my move. Thank you, guys. Woo! First and last month's rent. I want a stone. One of those old stone 1940s buildings in Northwest Portland, and they've got rent control now, so I get to go home. My biggest dream in life is that it has a fireplace. Then I would be in like seventh heaven. I'd be right next to Forest Park, greatest park in the world, right next to Saint Henri's pastries.
Oh gosh, okay.
It's getting better.
This is where I want to live. You got to come with me.
I will.
He won the baker. Francois Mitterrand gave him the President's Award as the best baker in France. Wow. And then he took his oven and he moved to the Pacific Northwest, and he is in he's like on Northwest 20th and Thurman. If you guys want to go, the greatest baguettes you'll ever eat.
Oh,
and the oven from France is there, so that's the neighborhood I'm going for. I got my baguettes, and then if you eat the baguette, you load up on your carbs, and then you hike up to Forest Park, and then if you walk all the way through Forest Park, it takes you all the way up to the organization that saves birds that have been wounded. What is it? The Audubon Society. Yes, the Audubon Society is there, and they're rescuing the birds. So it's a wonderful hike. You load up on your carbs, you hike for about a couple miles, and then you get to the top and you get to visit the Audubon Society.
Can you hike back down and have pastries?
I did that. I've done that walk about 2-3 times a week while I was in med school, and let me tell you, it was paradise. I was in med school. I was in the Pacific Northwest. I was studying natural medicine, and yes, I eat gluten. But I would eat at that place, and they would have amazing salads too, amazing soups, a beautiful classical music playing, amazing coffee, and then I would just hike in the woods. Gorgeous.
We're booking the flight, and we're gonna.
Well, I'm hoping you guys will help me pack.
Yeah, well,
it probably won't be till the spring because it's too darn cold there right now. So I'm willing to wait it out.
Okay.
Yes, the tree babies. We love the tree babies. Oh, Michelle, did she have a question for us? We got to honor our extraordinary moderators. Noelle's in Canada. Michelle is doing good. Was there another question that we had? Somebody wanted to. Eczema there's actual clinical studies that show that eczema is associated with leaky gut. And this is why we will see eczema in children, because most children will have some gut permeability problems for the first couple of years of their lives. This is why we encourage breastfeeding for at least a year, possibly 2 years, while the digestive tract is becoming becoming more developed.
Flourishing.
Yeah, well, the World Health Organization recommends 2 years. You can start to introduce some mushy food while you're still breastfeeding, but you transition the second year. But because of this leaky gut or gut permeability in young children, we'll often see eczema. And so that's why wheat gluten is something that we don't give to young children for that reason, because it is associated with childhood eczema. There's been some good clinical studies on that. So if you do have eczema, then I would start with, again, finding a naturopathic doctor that can help with treating leaky gut. And I would definitely look into the studies on gluten and eczema. But I do good on gluten. You know, like when my stomach's upset, and I do terrible on, if I don't do well on vegan, and I don't do well with bran. So I have to be on a low histamine diet. Like white bread, sourdough bread is easier on my digestion than actually on bran.
I tried going gluten free. I felt like my stomach was eating itself alive. It was horrifying.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody has a problem.
But I think my sister.
Luisa Garcia, if you look down, you'll see a smiley face to your left, and then next to that is a money symbol, and you just click on that, and yeah, that's how you make a donation. Thank you. Okay, let's see what other questions we have. Did you get yourself something to eat?
No, I will though.
I got you your pizza too.
Okay.
I got you a chicken and cream because I thought you liked that.
Oh, God,
and
yes.
Garlic cloves. It's the food she likes. I get her whatever she wants.
That's awesome. Oh my God, you're so nice. Oh.
Do you see me ever? Oh, here's one. Do you ever see me having a significant other than my dog? Lori Sue Cragen Clamett wants to see if she's going to have a significant other. Donna, try looking at your electrolytes. I would get some electrolytes. If you are taking electrolytes and you're keeping your potassium and your mineral levels up and the situation is not improving, I would see your doctor. But let's take a look at Lori Sue Cragen Clamett and see if she has love coming her way and what she has to do to bring love her way. Because I want you to have love.
Absolutely. The more love, the better. But as I say that, I want to just say one thing. Love is not love is a mutually giving relationship. Love is not a one-sided relationship or a position in where either party would have to feel less than the other. That's not a loving relationship. That's an unhealthy relationship.
Come over here. Oh, we did.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're eating too.
Oh, hello.
They're eating pizza. They're eating lentil soup. They're eating cheese and crackers. It's a party. Just because they're not physically in the room with us. This party, by the way, is rocking. We got 527 people at this party.
I'm going to have some pizza.
You'll find your husband at some kind of a spiritual event.
Whoa, how fun is that?
Yeah, because you have the prayer or meditation card, and then you have the wedding card. So believe it or not, the guy you're looking for, or the girl, I don't know, you didn't specify, but Four of Wands comes with love, and it's associated with meditation and prayer work. So getting involved in local meditation centers, getting involved in the local community that resonates with your spirituality is where you'll find your partner. The Four of Wands is the wedding canopy, but you can see the Four of Swords is there, which is the card associated with meditation. You will be victorious. In plainer words, it's associated with your spiritual development. The more you throw yourself into your spiritual development, this is samadhi, to be as samadhi. And then this is to be successful after tears. So anytime you don't honor yourself, you get burned. That's Spirit's message. So by honoring yourself, by you coming first and working on your own spiritual strength, you'll find your soulmate will meet you there.
That's
You can see. Yeah, 6 of Wands came over. You can do it you can meet your soulmate within 6 months.
Nice.
Look at this, Ace of Swords with a 6 of Wands.
That's a lot of hard work you've been doing on yourself.
Look at this.
To get there.
Coming out of rocky waters. And there's somebody from your past who knows that they blew it and they wish they could go back and change things. Look at the regrets. Wants to smooth the waters that were rocky in the past.
Well, choose to
Stop trying to get love from a turnip, from somebody that can't love you back. And be careful about your personal habits. Take care of yourself.
That's what you just said.
Eat right. Take care of yourself. Meditate. Love yourself first. Your body is a temple. Your soul is sacred. When you believe that and when you walk in that, aligned with that, he's there. But trying to get someone to love you that doesn't love themselves won't work, because the devil card came in the near future. Run from if you think, well, I'm going to save him, run. Save yourself.
Yeah.
I don't like seeing a devil card there, because it suggests that the challenge for this individual is to she could. I do this too because I'm an empath. We want to save everybody. We have to first save ourselves.
And remember, the first thing the angel said was a relationship has to be balanced with two people loving and honoring each other. They don't say that if you are already balanced. You know that. So they're just asking.
She did find her soulmate within 6 months if she threw herself into her spiritual work.
Look at all the thank you.
Oh. Wandering Eyes gave a donation, 20 trees. We give thanks to her. And T-Bar, she wants the lady to get her own place, and I want the lady to get my own place, and I want to invite the boy to my place once I get my own place. All right, let's. This is not fun. Is everybody having fun? Whimsy, will I get my dream job that is an immigration officer? Run your cards on me, please. Well, you are a moderator, Noel. You are a moderator extraordinaire. So you get whatever you want from me. All right. Let's ask our remote viewer.
Huge amount of energy on it. Huge.
Okay. Is the question Noel had is she going to get her dream job working as an immigration officer?
You need to hold that vision, because it's loaded with energy right now, and that means positive. It means it's in alignment, ready to come to you. Hold the vision of what you want. See yourself in the job. Project ahead in time, but work on being happy now, because you have to come from a place of more than enough to get into the place of more than enough. So be happy here. Be looking around to see everything you can be grateful for that you have now, and see yourself in that job, feeling great and feeling as though, yeah, I really deserve this. That's the other component. Work on any feelings of self-reluctance, or I don't deserve it, or I'm not worth it, or any of that kind of nonsense. Clean it out of your energetic field and stay in that high place of joy. That job is yours.
Okay, so I got into a remote. I did the remote. They're telling the immigration, the people that hire say that they have a quota. This is what they're saying, that they are allowed to hire so many people per season, or they're doing it in steps. So you might miss the first one, but you could be hired in spring of 2020. You can see the spring card coming in with the moon card. So when I go into it, when I try to remote the energy, it looks like that they're allotted a certain number of positions. And if you don't get it now, you could get it in the future. You may have tried in the past and not gotten it. I think also they may want you to move. There's something about like that she might have to move or something like that.
And there isn't any energy on it immediately, which doesn't mean anything other than it's not in this month.
They're also saying that there's going to be another security alert that it's going back up because the tower's in the 4th house. So that could mean that they bring in more people. But she might not get this position right away. She might,
not this month. But that doesn't mean anything.
But it's possible that she's going to get it in the 4th month. But there's something going on with security also. I don't think that tower. I think it's because of the attack that happened on the base.
I don't think they're hiring right now. There's no energy for the immediate. There's energy for the job, but there's not energy there's nothing.
I think things are going to
Connects.
start to open up when the snows melt.
I think also after the this impeachment,
This whole rigmarole.
this whole impeachment thing is going to resolve itself first.
Trisha wants to know about her
that would make
future with
sense.
Jarvis.
That totally makes sense. Yeah.
They want to see what the new administration might do.
Or it's like everybody's just,
Let's
Oh,
figure out if
yeah.
relationship. What's her relationship going to be like with Jarvis? Relationship with Jarvis. Well, I laugh when I experience the energy of Jarvis. Trisha Pina Art. So I like the fact that Jarvis is making me laugh. That makes me feel good. If I got to be with a guy, he's got to make me smile. Jarvis makes me smile. Jarvis makes me happy. He makes me laugh. Like Roger Rabbit, Jarvis makes me laugh.
You know what?
It's true. I went into the remote for her. I stood in her shoes, and I was talking to Jarvis, and I was laughing. Jarvis got you laughing. That's how he got the girl. That's what I think. I'm smiling with him. Hello, Jarvis. He's funny, Jarvis.
I think we've been friends for about 2 years.
2-3 years,
2
yeah.
years. When you do this, it's the happiest I ever see you.
I love it. I love being a remote viewer.
So I just want to give you that acknowledgement that
Thank you.
it's like you're so in your element. It's just like
I
you're
love
flourishing.
I love it
Yeah.
because I love empowering people and I love giving people information that is going to help. I really like Jarvis.
I don't think that was clear.
Jarvis wants to give you, baby. Mm-hmm.
Woo!
That's love proposal. It's very possible. I like Jarvis. Be patient and be willing to negotiate and don't be so defensive. Let yourself be a little vulnerable with him. He's not a bad guy. Confidence, my child. Confidence. Ooh, you don't want to be tied in a knot and you don't want to be controlled. I appreciate that. I feel exactly the same way. And so you're having a little bit of a trust challenge there. Strife. And worried about work and worried about money a little bit. Yes, you could very likely marry Jarvis. There's something about a wedding or babies or but there's also negotiation, a willing to be vulnerable, and there's a little bit of strife and a concern about being trapped a little bit. You can see the 8 of Swords, and then the strife card comes in. But yeah, and you thought of leaving him?
Don't judge by your previous relationships.
But look at this. Does he not have a job? Is he like that? He's trying to show you something. Hopes and fears. I think there was a little tension here. She almost kicked him to the curb. Yeah, I think you guys can work it out. I think there's a little bit of an imbalance with the money or the work. But I think he's sincere. I like those cards. I think, yeah, it's possible. You and Jarvis could get married. Negotiate.
Don't judge by the past.
Make him step up to the plate. All right, what else we got here? Love yourself. Absolutely. Will you ever see your brother again? Who's this? I lost that question. Laura wants to know if she's going to be at her job for long. That's an easy question. I can just do a couple cards on that. Is Laura going to be at her job for much longer? Isn't this fun? Woohoo! 514 people at our party. Is this not the funnest?
Yeah, but Laura and her job. There isn't a whole lot of energy around that job. Are you not happy there, Laura? It doesn't feel like it's a great match.
Oh, really? Let me find out. Yeah, it's. I get exhausted going into this energy about your job. The 10 of Swords with the Magician card. It's limiting you and it's limiting your potential. You have the potential to be a master and to come into your own power, but I feel stifled. I feel stifled. You're supposed to be a scholar or an intellectual or you've got mastery and scholarship around you and coming into your power. So to be honest with you, I think you can do better than this job. You are trying to get yourself out of this job. You may even try to get yourself fired. Don't do it like that. Don't be passive aggressive. Just leave. That would be great. I'm curious. Let me look at the other 4 cards. Oh, you get your wish. Yes, you can leave your job, but it's in your mind if you think you can't. You're not trapped. You're not trapped. You only think you're trapped. She has the potential to be a master of. She had the mastery card.
Oh,
To attain mastery. Well, let's give some thank yous to everyone. CJ has given birth to 20 tree babies. We wish her a mazel tov, mazel tov. And Trisha Pina Art has given birth to 20 tree babies. And again, mazel tov, mazel tov. Congratulations. And again, we hope they grow up to be strong pine. Yes. All right. How much longer will I be at my current job? We already did that one. Time to move on because you can you can go way beyond where you're at.
And you're ready.
Yeah, she's limiting herself, I think. Okay, will I ever start my own record label? Chanisa Lewis. Yes, because you have to empower people. And the reason why you were inspired to do the record label in the first place was to start empowering people, particularly empowering women whose voices have been stifled by the record industry. So yes, not only will you start it small, but I think spiritually you're obligated to do it.
Huge amount of heart energy on that.
Yeah,
so this is a labor.
A lot of people have really been victimized by the record industry, and to honor the goddess energy, the feminine energy that you're trying to put out there, both in men and women, that positive energy that you're trying to bring out in the world is why your work is going to be blessed. Yes, you should do it. Start small, but you're on a mission. And so, yeah, do the work and you'll be successful. And keep it positive, which is what you're trying to do. There's a huge blessing over that.
It's a lovely heart energy on that.
Yeah, that one was really good. Okay. Now let's see what else we got going on here. Connie wants to know if her brother was killed. Very suspicious circumstances were surrounding his death. I kind of leave those things for the police department. I kind of feel weird in this kind of setting to do something like that. Did you want to touch that one?
There's a lot of pain energy. So, but I think that's you, Connie, grieving, and I am so sorry that you are having to experience that.
Michelle Taylor would like to be an energy worker, but she's not that good at the cards. Do you have any advice for her? For Michelle Taylor, if she wants to be a professional empath?
Go with your heart. You don't have to do it through the cards. You don't have to do it.
She doesn't use cards.
And you don't have to do it the way I do it. Every single person on this planet has a way to connect with the divine. What you need to do is figure out what way you get your messages from the energetic realm, and then expand on that. If it's through cards, great. Really delve into the cards. If it's auditory, if you can hear them talking to you, spend time listening and conversing with them. If it's feeling, the work that you need to do is to spend time in the energetic realm and do your best to interpret how best they are communicating with you. And that's a little bit trial and error. Try all the different things. Try the cards. See, wow, they feel good.
I hated the cards in the beginning because I was just a straight remote viewer in the beginning. That was like 40 years ago. And I was like looking at the cards, like, ah, and I would get confused. I would feel one thing and the cards would be different. It took me a very long time.
I'm like, what the heck?
I got hired by a bookstore that demanded I use a prop. And so I was using them as a prop, and then I was reading about 1 or 2 cards a day, 3 cards, just slowly figuring out the cards, because there's a lot of cards. And then slowly I started to relax and trust the cards. But I also learned from that experience that they're your cards. You can program them to do anything. It's connected to your subconscious. So just because, but it says in the book that the card means something else. Not to me, it doesn't, because my emotional response when I see that card. So now the cards are programmed to me because it's ultimately me that's determining how my cards are going to work. That's why when I look at the Four of Pentacles, I see self-examination, even though it's not traditionally used as a self-examination card.
You said the key word, relax. Relax and enjoy your time spent in the company of the energetic realm, and just ask them to show you. They are so willing to help us, to lead us, and to guide us.
They're waiting.
Yeah.
Excuse me for interrupting.
Yes.
Oh, Joanna, they're waiting for you to talk.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, I think it's like they're waiting. It's like,
They're delighted when you show
please
interest.
call me.
Yes.
Please call me. Oh, I didn't. Oh, thank you. Let me
Now
tell you.
remember, we all have free will, which means they will not knock you over the head. Hey, I want you to be working with me. They wait for us to show interest and desire, and then they help us. So the help you need is there. The ability is there, guaranteed. Every single one of us comes in with a way to connect with the divine. We never lose that connection. We can minimize it. And all you're doing when you're opening up is taking the connection and widening it so it's easier for you to do that work of connecting.
Mm-hmm. And then I would also say that Michelle, you have partnership cards here, the Two of Cups and the Two of Wands. So that means, I would interpret it, this is sacred contract. So that means that I would seek out mentors in a tradition that you feel comfortable with. If you're, for example, I feel attracted to the Yoruba community. I'm attracted to the Jewish community. I'm a Soka Gakkai member. I'm a Buddhist. So the point is just to try and find a community that's going to support your evolution and potentially give you what you need in order to go forward. Because this is talking a lot about getting support from your community. The community will also give you the confidence you need. You have strong natural gifts, and you always have. And there's something about you being very close connected with the death realm, which leads me to suspect that you can work as a medium. Mm-hmm. Because she had chariots in the fourth house, or the higher areas, which, but not in a scary way. I don't want people to think, but more as a comfort to people. So helping with grieving, helping with people who have experienced severe trauma, helping with people who are afraid of death. There's a lot here about healing trauma, passing away, people who are moving on, and be basically a grief counselor and comforting work. She can do comfort work.
Wow, what a
So
love.
needed.
She will. But we say in the shamanic community to pull the root. It's somebody who gets chosen to do this kind of work, and Michelle got those cards.
Wow.
So she pulled the root.
Wow, Michelle.
So she has to find the tradition. She has to find her people, her community. But she's being pulled into counseling the weary, counseling the wounded, the traumatized, the grieving, the sorrowful. It's kind of interesting that she pulled that.
What's that group that?
A lot of people can't do this kind of work, and a lot of people shouldn't do that work. I don't work a lot in the Yoruba tradition. That's the goddess Oya, and her colors are red, and her favorite food is eggplant. That particular goddess, and she helps people.
What's the group that does
grief.
that so beautifully? That deals with grief. The hospice. Maybe hospice would be a
hospice, but also people coming to her that are just broken because someone has passed over, or they themselves have experienced extreme trauma. She's very good with helping people pass through the trauma. So, yeah, Michelle, you are supposed to do spiritual work, and you're very good at helping ground people who've been through trauma.
And Michelle, you'll notice that you're already doing this just in conversation. So listen to the conversation that you're having with people right now, and where you gravitate, where your energy tends to gravitate. That will help lead you in the direction of what your best spiritual.
It's interesting that particular saint came to her. it's from the Yoruba African tradition, and Google it, Oya, Oya. She's the saint that comes to you. She's trying to work with your head. And so because she came in the remote, that tells me that you're probably going to be working with people that have gone through trauma and grief.
And something just hit me when you were speaking.
Yeah, come closer because speak a little loud so that they can hear us.
When she was speaking, and I don't know if this could be, I'm just speaking spontaneously. It's like listening. I feel like it's like some sort of listening, really, really good. Like grief is part of listening skills and absorbing where that person is and allowing them to go forward. So it's like the thing that kept on going over when you were speaking was that like developing, like there's this thing called active listening.
Yeah, active listening. But when I go into Michelle's energy specifically, I feel shock and horror. Like shock and horror, like the kind of shock and horror where I need someone to pull me out of this.
Oh, wow.
So she's going to do some powerful work if she gets the training to do it.
Wow.
Yeah, like people with but severe PTSD. Melissa Miller has chronic pain in her belly that doctors can't diagnose. Usually in cases like that, I think it's irritable bowel syndrome. Particularly in older women, I will often prescribe digestive enzymes, and I will recommend the slow cook technique. That food should be cooked well. We cook food too quickly in America, and that's not the way food is cooked in the rest of the world. I mean, you go to a country like Israel, they will cook the stews all day long. And so they just melt in your mouth. They're just very easy to digest. And if we're eating too quickly, too much, and if we're not properly cooking the food, particularly if it's got starches in it, like beans should be soaked for 3 days. Rinse the water every day for 3 days. Rinse it a couple of times. Or you can buy it sprouted. And then you really want to slow cook it for 8 hours. And slow down, chew your food. Check your dental health, make sure your teeth are okay, make sure you're having adequate saliva, and you may want to also take a digestive enzyme. I often will prescribe Digest Gold by Enzymatica because it's kosher, it's vegan, and it works really great. So that's just some basic ideas. If you are looking for a naturopathic doctor, you can talk to them about it, but that's usually where I get started. Okay, so SS, Whimsy, looking for a changing career. What should I go for? Tarot, astrology, writing, Reiki, or teaching? Getting anything for SS?
Definitely teaching. And in one of those, I think she would like astrology the most, or a combination of tarot and astrology.
Let's see what SS is supposed to be doing.
You love to share, so definitely teaching.
Well, you inherited a gift. You have an inheritance. Follow your passion, because you have a 5 of Swords, which is work easier, not smarter, not harder. That's the saying. Yeah, I think you're right about astrology. She's got a 3 of Pentacles in her 4th house.
But I also feel
Look at
strongly
this.
she
Look
would
at how
like the
smart she
tarot.
is. You could go into higher teaching too, higher education. A new road is coming for her. You also have good money cards, by the way. I think that you're going to get more educated. I think you're going to teach. I think you're going to master a skill. I think astrology is a very good area for you to get into. But you could also get into the cards. But what's coming to you in the near future is the High Priestess, and that's the Torah, the woman whose job it is to bear the light. Ta'or, to bear the light. And then 9 of Pentacles is right over you, which is confidence, and it's flourishing. Your final outcome, Ace of Pentacles, which describes wealth or wealth coming. Also, you're harvesting the money. Seven of Pentacles and 10 of Pentacles, an inheritance. Your cards are very good for higher education. And I think you should just follow your passion. If you are passionate about it, pursue it. But you're definitely pursuing education and you're going to be okay financially. Chronic migraines. You know, with chronic migraines, I suffer from that as well. I've been on a low histamine diet, and I would Google low histamine diet to find out more about migraines. You want to avoid canned food, I did myself in last night. Speaking of migraines, I ate a high histamine. I said, I want to have a tuna casserole. So you're not supposed to have canned fish if you've got migraines. So I threw the tuna in, and you're not supposed to have aged cheese. I took a cheddar cheese that had been aged for 18 months.
Aged cheese.
And egg whites can also be stimulate histamine. So I was using egg white noodles. I woke up not only with a migraine, but I vomited. So I'm very sensitive to histamine foods. But Google low histamine diet if you do suffer from migraines. Also, you may want to take a digestive enzyme as well in case you're having trouble digesting certain foods, and that's what's causing the inflammation. If that I wouldn't go into. I don't want to diagnose something like that. This is my roses. But if you are concerned about Barrett's, then there's again, you can see a naturopathic doctor. Most doctors will put you on proton pump inhibitors to reduce the amount of acid. Stress reduction can also be helpful. Smaller meals can be helpful, and eating foods that produce less acid. So being on a lower protein diet can help. Again, digestive enzymes. There are some herbs that can be helpful as well. Slippery elm can be helpful. Deglycerized licorice chews can be helpful. You also want to avoid things like chocolate, spicy foods, alcohol.
Oh, no fun.
No, well, I don't drink, so it wouldn't be difficult. You were supposed to bring the chocolate, by the way.
I know. I got.
What the heck?
Yes.
I'm perturbed. I didn't get my chocolate. Okay, how are we doing? I think we've got time for a few more questions. Yvonne White, spiritual work of any kind. Yeah, Yvonne, you have energy in your hands. So I would look into energy work with your hands. That's what I'm getting. Yeah, red wine is the worst. Well, I don't drink alcohol for that reason because I throw up. So,
Yeah.
After my divorce, I smoked marijuana though, and it helped. And then when it didn't help, I stopped. And now I'm just I do have one addiction though, and that is coffee. Oh. But even that I can't do too much of.
Mm-hmm. I do too much coffee.
I can do 1 or 2 cups, and then after that, my body's like, you've had enough coffee.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not mine.
I think
no. It's the same with it. It's like across the board. I can't even drink a glass of wine.
Well, your house deal closed as planned. Be careful, Halo Boy. Make sure that you've got enough on a down payment because I'm a little worried that you're stretching things a little too thin. Are you ready to do this now, Halo Boy? Okay, if your family's going to help you, maybe.
I would wait until after the holiday.
Wait till after the holidays? I feel like
not a lot of energy on that right at this moment.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to be stretching it a little bit.
I just wouldn't push it. When you feel like there's a gulf between you and what you want, just take a deep breath, relax, and ask the angels of the energetic realm to help flow you into the time when there's no gap. So the God is never trying to take something from you or prevent you from receiving something. But sometimes we get out in front of things or lagging behind. So just ask the energetic realm to help you catch up so that you're running in partnership. And that's much better than trying to do it on our own.
I agree. How will my husband's health be for the next 2 years? Fairy there says, I think that your husband overwhelmed himself stress-wise. I feel like he needs to slow down and take care of himself, and I think his body is talking to him.
So this is a pretty big wake-up call. Get on a better eating regime, exercise, proper sleep.
And work shouldn't be tearing him apart.
If you need to change jobs, change jobs.
Nothing is worth your health.
Or the health is
If he really begins to love himself and recognize that his health is his priority, and live simply, live frugally, stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. They don't exist. You know, we're all broke aristocrats. We all live very simply, and as long as your needs, you know, I get to go to a movie once a month. I go out and do brunch with my friend Tani on Sundays. I don't need much to be happy. Anything more than what we need is just going to create unnecessary stress. Yeah, he doesn't need to do that. He needs to start listening to his body and take care of himself. It's not important. Just less is more. There are a lot of questions coming. We're going as fast as we can. I got 2 remote viewers and a mute reviewer in training.
A mute empath. Excuse me.
Yeah, Florida, that could be frozen shoulder. It's something we will see with women in perimenopause and menopause. And
really?
Yeah, frozen shoulder. And
is
also
it the right shoulder?
I'm getting the left with her. Mm-hmm. Fiorda, is it your left or your right? But if it's a frozen shoulder and there's some arthritis there, then massage can help. Soaking in a bath with Epsom salt, massage can be helpful. And you may want to talk to your doctor if you are going through perimenopause, menopause, about bioidentical hormone restoration.
Ooh, well, that's good stuff.
Mm-hmm. She had a left arm. It was the left arm. Yeah, I felt the left arm. Chelsea and the Bush girls seem too well adjusted when their parents have such negative info about them and their administration. Chelsea and the Bush girls, who knows what goes on behind the, you know, I really liked the Howard Stern interview with Hillary Clinton. I thought it was really cool that she went on Howard Stern. Yeah.
What was the quick summary?
She talked about falling in love with Bill and how she was in love with the Greek god before that. And he was really hot, but then I liked Bill. I mean, it was just a very real, she's not running for president, so she's kind of like being more herself now.
Let the hair down.
She let her hair down, and she wrote a really great book on spunky women. I think it's called, what is the name of Hillary Clinton's new book? It's called women who've got chutzpah.
Mm-hmm. But you know what I think is incredible about her is really early in her career is when we had the impeachment of Nixon.
Yeah, she was one of the impeachment girls.
She wrote a lot of the legal guidelines of how to get through that process. And so a lot of that ended up being the basis.
Isn't that weird karma that her husband got impeached after she worked with the Nixon impeachment?
And a lot of that is the basis of how to go forward at present, because it was just very legally sound work.
Wow, well, I think things are going to be okay, because I had that dream with Lindsey Graham where he was being all lovey-dovey with me. So I'm like, why is he being all lovey-dovey with me? So it's like, oh, they're working on an exit strategy. Mm-hmm. And then when Giuliani said, kind of like brushed me off and said, oh yeah, he's resigning. So that I think I've got a good feeling about it. I think everything's going to be okay.
Is that I had to step out while you were probably doing.
We don't.
Is that the summary?
Lollipop. We don't predict death, and if a reader predicts your death, they should be fired and they should not be practicing, because we have no idea when people are going to die. My job is to help people live and live happy lives. But I did have a gentleman come to see me recently. His partner was told by a con artist that he was going to die at 72. And this was somebody who I had actually had hired me. And when I went into the remote, he was like working. I saw him working and going really intensely into this intense mental work for like the next 20, 30 years. So I was like, what are you talking about?
But I want to.
So this person ripped him off and told him he was going to drop dead at 72.
I want to issue a warning about that. No one is taken before they are ready to leave this life. So,
well, I don't know about that. You and I might disagree about that, but okay.
But my understanding, and
gutsy women,
I keep getting it confirmed, is that before you are taken, before you change energetic form, you are asked at the point of departure 3 different times, are you ready to leave? So let's say somebody were to say to me, well, you're going to be dead tomorrow. They can hold that opinion. However, if you resonate with me and I don't attach to it, you can try to tell me all day long, and it's not going to change my reality at all. If I don't allow my reality to be changed by what you say to me, you have no effect on me. Let's remember how powerful we really are and stop giving power to other people who may tell you something and they may believe it. Let them believe it. It's what you believe that really matters. So they can tell you, oh, you're going to get sick. If you're not resonating with that, if you're not in that vibrational space of illness, you're not getting sick. So
yeah, but I think that these charlatans can hypnotize you.
Oh, absolutely.
You know? Or get you addicted.
Yes.
So Noelle, was there a question we missed? She said, let us help get that question ahead. What question is it that we? Please read Sarah. Sarah's question is very important. What was the question that Sarah had? I'm sorry we missed it. Oh, the best live stream on YouTube. That's why we got 500 people at our party. Yeah, this is a rockin' party. I had a really good, you know what? I don't know what happened. Spirit didn't let me play that. It was like Highway to Hell. And it's like, no, you're not going to play Highway. It's gone. They didn't even save the. Can you believe that? Instead, it switched me over to Kundalini chants.
Oh, well, that's good. I like that.
I couldn't play Highway to Hell. I don't know. All right, let's look. Will I get an apartment next year that I really want? Location is perfect. Yes, Eileen, I think you will. Thank you, everyone, for helping to get the ladies' attention for Sarah. Sarah is in trouble. We want to help Sarah. What's going on? I don't know what's going on with Sarah. Let's go back. Do you see Sarah's question?
I can't read it well enough without my glasses, so I
don't see Sarah's question.
Oh, Sarah. Oh no, that's just, it is of grave importance, so it's got to be above that.
I don't see Sarah's question, do you? I'm sorry, we're not finding it. Please help Sarah with a question. Thank you, Courtney, for the donation. Boy, everybody has a very serious question.
Wow, Sarah.
Sarah, we really want to answer that question. And
wait. Go back, please.
Mm-hmm. Here.
Sarah has a question. She is suicidal. Sarah,
into research, your gut and your gut bacteria are connected. Do you see this?
Sarah, you are a beautiful, bright light, and absolutely nothing is worth extinguishing that light. Whatever anyone said to you or did to you, or anything you may have participated in, it can all be undone. It can all turn around. It must be quite far back because they keep commenting on it.
Sarah sending love. Boy, Sarah.
Look at the love that you're receiving, Sarah. There are so many people that are connecting with you on a heart level that really want to see you prosper.
Sarah's question, do you see any job money for me? Is that the question? Is that all there was to it? Let me go forward and see if somebody clarified it. She needs a job and money. Okay, let's go in and we're gonna all visualize Sarah getting a job where she feels safe, where she feels loved and happy, where she's appreciated and respected for her unique gifts, and where she's fulfilling her destiny and she's being allowed to flower. And we also want to visualize her paying her rent and having plenty left over for fun and retirement and all that good stuff. Yeah. So we're all holding that space for Sarah, and now I'm going to go in and do a remote, and then I'm going to ask Marcia if she can as well go in for Sarah. See if we can't change the karma here as a collective. We're all holding it for Sarah that she's going to get a great job and have a great life. Because she deserves that.
And Sarah, I'm just going to ask you to let go of the fear. And why don't we do a little visualization for you? I want you to take all of that fear that is really clouding your judgment and preventing you from being able to see yourself as a beautiful light. Let's just take all of that fear and put it in a beautifully gift-wrapped box. Just make it the most beautiful present you can see so that you'll look at it and you'll see beauty instead of pain or hurt or confusion. And now imagine that there is an escalator that's going right up into the energetic realm. I want you to put your package, that beautifully wrapped gift, on the escalator and send it right to the divine. There is no energy more capable of taking fear and returning it to you as unconditional love than the divine. And we really can't negotiate these lives without it. So let it go, give it to the divine, and allow them to give to you that unconditional love that you need right now. And then bathe in it and go out and find that job.
Yeah, I would add to that. Yes, you're definitely going to get a job and you're going to be happy, Sarah. The first thing that they're showing is the Lover's card, which is the sacred contract with God. But also what's pushing through for you is the Magician card, which means that you will manifest it. You will take control of the situation and you will manifest it first by getting control of your mind. Magician card encourages us to take control of our mind, to take control of our thoughts. If we're doing drugs or because we're upset, it can sometimes be because we don't have another coping skill. If we're drinking alcohol, it's because we're upset and we don't have another way of coping. But there are so many positive ways to cope with stress. Going for a walk in nature, doing yoga, listening to beautiful music, writing a poem, call a friend. There are so many ways to meditate, sing. I do the YouTube channel so that I can talk to other whimsies out there, other people that are like me, because being an empath and particularly a remote viewer, it's a really lonely life. And then being able to reach out to the greater community can be helpful. So it's about sacred contracts and relationships with others that feed your soul. But I like the fact that what's pushing through for you is the Magician card, which suggests that now is the time for you to find ways to empower yourself and to put aside any kind of behavior that does not put you in a position of power, because ultimately it's about your own mind. That is what the Magician teaches us: as above, so below. We manifest through our positive. It's not just about positive thinking. It's you're going to be a lot more successful in the job search. If a person's way of dealing with the fact that they don't have a job is they're sitting on their couch crying, smoking weed, and listening to sad music, I stand accused.
We've all been there.
We've been there. When I got my divorce, I literally, people could not drag me out of the bed. It was horrible. So, but what helped me was this realization that I had to get control of my own mind. For me, that's chanting. I have a Buddhist practice, and it helps me cope with stress and get control of my mind. Because if I can do anything, I got to get control of my mind and find healthy ways to relieve stress. And then I can get organized through meditation, chanting. Okay, what do I need to do in order to get control of my life? Number one, I have to take care of myself. I have to get control of my brain. And I have to find healthy ways to cope with this stress. So that is the first thing that they're saying to you for advice. I like this, the Nine of Pentacles. She sits in her wealth and she reaps her garden. So planting the seeds of positivity, which is what Marcia was talking about, but also manifesting it again by the mind taking, I must first take control of my mind. And my mind, I'd make positive choices for myself that propel me towards something positive. Being afraid of looking at certain things you're afraid of. My advice about that, this fear I'm getting, this pulling back with the Two of Swords, is you don't have to look at everything all at once. Just take a little bit at a time. And that's something I learned from Marcia, because when I was going through my divorce, I was completely overwhelmed and flat on my back. And she was saying, no, you don't have to take it all on right now. Just put it aside.
You can't.
And you can't. You
It's
can't.
impossible. None of
And
us
do the
can.
one thing that's right in front of you.
Yeah, do just one step at a time. Because I'm telling you why you're feeling this way, this Two of Swords, Sarah, is because you think you have to do it all. You don't have to do it all. Can you speak to that a little bit? Because I know you helped me through that.
Well, and I want to say, Sarah, there's no one right way. So don't worry if somebody says to you, well, Sarah, you need to do it this way, and it doesn't feel right to you. You are not being a bad daughter, not a nice friend, or a bad employee. If you say to yourself, I hear what they're saying, but that doesn't feel good to me. Learn to get in touch with what feels good to you and follow that path to your desired goal. You are very deeply empathic, Sarah, so that means you're taking on a lot of stuff that doesn't belong to you, and that's going to make it feel very overwhelming. You got to learn how to shield. You've got to learn to give the stuff back to people. Actually, you don't give it to them. Just take all that garbage that you don't know what to do with because you didn't generate it, give it to the divine. Wrap it up in a beautiful package so you feel like
I love that exercise.
it works for me, Billy. Let me tell you.
It works for me too.
You got it. What happens when we don't understand that we're empathic is that we start pulling in all of this. Oh, if I just take on Susie's stress, Susie will be happy. Well, Susie might get happy for that 1 second, but because Susie is hardwired toward this stress personality or this stress way of life, and it feels good to Susie for this time, she's just going to manufacture more, and you'll be stuck with this stress that you don't know what to do with because you didn't generate it. And then you tend to store it. Oh, I'll just put it over here because I don't know what to do with it. And before you know it, you got a mountain that you're dragging along with you.
You only are obligated to take on your stuff.
Right.
What you're sitting in thinking about is the money, the work, negotiating. You've been doing a lot of prayer work, but I'll tell you the first card that came to you where you're at, the Seven of the Page of Cups in the 7th house, is about health and healing. Making sure your daily habits are healthy, creating good karma through your daily habits, or as what we say in the Buddhist tradition, Buddhism in daily life. In plain words, what do I need to do right now to take care of Sarah? And that's all you need to be dealing with. You don't need to take on the world right now. Getting up at a decent hour, brushing your teeth, staying clean and sober, going to a community that's going to support your health and healing. Avoid toxic people like the plague. They give you nothing and they drag you down, and you have an ice king in your past. So you need to stay away from the ice king. Stay away from the toxic people. You don't deserve it, and you need to forgive yourself. Focus less on forgiving them and more on forgiving yourself for allowing people. Not allowing, I don't want to say allowing, but if you ever believed you deserved it, you need to forgive yourself for that, because this is bullshit. So, yeah. Yeah, she's going to get a job, though. Yes, you're going to get a job. 4 of Wands. And you're going to have a great spring, by the way. Yeah, go ahead.
When you're talking about the Magician card, the theme that resonates with me is self-mastery.
Yeah, self-mastery, as above, so below. But for her, it's just, she feels like everything is on her, and Spirit is saying, you don't have to take on the world. You just have to take care of you. And not be so hard on yourself, and avoid abusive people, toxic people.
Partner with Archangel Michael, who will help you cut the Akka cords, which are the negative ties between you and others. ask him to help you, come and do that for you. And then don't re-engage with those people who have shown themselves to be really in that low vibration.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that if you have negative tapes going on in your head, Sarah, because of something someone did or said, it's important to almost like you have to perform an exorcism to get that negativity out of you, like, out demon, I banish you. You know, like you have to send that energy away, because if you internalize it too much, it can become almost like a hex for her. You know, that's the challenge for her.
Or like a health problem.
Yeah, because it isn't real. And when you stop believing it's real, it will have no power. It's like in the
Amen to
it's like the mysticism. It's like the mysticism of the Wizard of Oz. How'd you go, witch? You have no power here. We want you to get to that place where when negative people try to bring you down, start laughing at the bully like they are with Trump right now. They're all laughing. Go away. You have no power here. They're laughing at him at G7.
Nobody behind the curtain.
There's nobody behind the curtain. Go away, silly boys.
Think of it like the voodoo religion. I always say, people could bring a doll right in front of me and poke me in the eye, and I would be like,
are you done?
Yeah. It has no meaning to me. You're assigning people that have no value. You're giving them meaning in your life, and they're being very cruel. And you're the only one that can stop them from being able to be cruel to you. Don't play voodoo doll with them. Don't allow them into your personal space. That's not you being unkind. That's you being kind to you.
A.H. Ruth wants to find her missing brother who's presumed dead after many years.
Oh.
Town he disappeared in, and I'm having trouble. I don't feel comfortable doing missing persons because I always feel that that's like a crime thing, and we always want to stay like an entertainment channel. But we will
sending you love
and prayers that Ruth will be able to find out about what's happened to her brother who has disappeared. We will hold prayers for you. All right, I think we're gonna wrap it up. I think we did. I think we did good. I think everybody's going to be okay. Also, avoid alcohol. There was a moon card over Sarah and suicidal. It's really important that sobriety comes first. First step is sobriety. First step, you must love yourself first and foremost. Be gentle with yourself, and same with Florida. Be gentle with yourself. The message is really about one day at a time, and we need to move away from all this media bullshit where, pardon the French, where people are expected to be perfect. I mean, it's really toxic. This is one of the reasons I don't like Los Angeles. It's these irrational expectations. We're all just human beings, and we all just need to help each other and be kind. And you have a right to be treated with respect and to avoid toxic people. And
the truth is, you are perfect right where you are. If that does not look like someone you've seen on Instagram, well, they probably don't look like that either. So be perfect just as you are. And recognize, there are a lot of all these filters, and I don't even understand computers, so I'm the wrong person to try to get in that world. But I'm like, what? How can that person be that person?
All right, so we're going to go ahead. We'll do one more throw for Florida. She had the same question. She was worried about job, and she was, they were saying she was suicidal. So, so we're just going to hold the light for Florida before we go. And if you have a message for Florida, and I'll do the cards.
Florida, again, wrapping you in a blanket of pink and gold light so that you know that you're not alone. The energetic realm is always with you. And it's time now for you to step out of the way of let me help you to other people and step into the space, let me help myself How can I move myself into a place of greater awakening, of greater connection with the divine? Now, let's recognize that a lot of people like to say, when you are beginning to concentrate on yourself, you're so selfish. Really? Really? Now, let's look
Yes, I
am. Well, let's look at that. According to Mother God, the most selfless thing you can do is receive the energy of the divine and fill yourself completely until you are overflowing. Because once you get to the point of overflow, you will automatically flow over onto everyone around you. And that is the most beautiful blessing you can ever be. But as long as you stay empty and you keep trying to give from that empty well, at some point, you're going to be useless. So
It's interesting that Florida has a message from Spirit. She had a 2 of Wands push up and a star card. So she could very likely go into counseling or social work.
oh, lovely.
So
Beautiful
Star
heart,
is somebody,
Florida.
she has a gift of counseling, and you have to live your life, and you have to come through this because you will save lives. The Star card and the 2 of Wands is to be in partnership with Spirit or God. So basically, you're an angel on earth. It's the person who goes and they are aligned with the star. Yeah, and she has a partnership with them.
But
So
maybe-
your destiny is actually to save others, and you will put the past behind you, which is what the Queen of Swords is about. A feeling of being tied down. You have to honor your unique gifts and stop trying to make you. Don't worry about what the Kardashians are doing, because you're very unique. And I'll tell you something. You have a gift to potentially help people. You've also been cutting off your abilities a little bit. 2 of Swords is in her 4th house. It's like she doesn't want. It's like, no, I don't want to give my life to God and serve it. This is somebody who could potentially become a social worker and save lives.
But
by the way, you're going to be in a great place within 6 months. You got a victory card here. But look, she in her 4th house, she's actually cutting off. It's like the Spirit is saying, no, we need you as an ally to save the needy. No, this is precisely what we need. And as long as you keep saying no to the service work, you're fighting yourself, basically.
But let me explain the difference between divine service and being
she's fleeing it.
And being a servant, which is what you have been told. You must be a servant. You must be poor. You must go without. You must work harder than everybody else. No, you need to partner with the divine and be in service, which means you are allowing the divine to flow through you and you are giving of that energy. When the divine energy flows through you, you are supported. Not just supported physically, but supported financially as well, because they can't have you living on the street doing their work for them. So divine service means you partner with the divine, and as the energy flows through you, you will attract to you those things that you need to keep you in the high vibration of love, joy, and peace, where you can serve gracefully and gratefully. You are not the servant where people step on you.
Yeah, that's a slave. That's a doormat.
Yeah.
Your final outcome, by the way, you take the gift of love. So it's as if this is the kind of card you would get if you were a nun. I'm sorry to put it that way, but you can still get married. But it's somebody who has been called to do God's work. And the final outcome for you is 3 of Cups. So you need a community of other light workers that have also been called to this type of service, so that you can work together in a group and find similarly minded people that want to basically save the world, because you've got Star and blessings and an offer from a God. They're asking you to partner with Spirit. But be aware that your cards are also saying that you've shut it down a little bit. It's as if you feel a little overwhelmed by it, but you're not alone. You have a partner in Spirit, and you're being called to do the good work. And you will.
And we all shut it down first. It's very overwhelming when
because we're empaths. Yeah. Of course, we shut it down.
When you
her story. You want to talk about someone that went through hell?
When you really realize you are being called and there's really no answer except yes, you will shut down. It's okay. We all go through it. Just move through it. Be as open as you can. Understand that doesn't make you bad, wrong, hurt. disloyal to God or any other silly things people are trying to put on you. It's just a normal part of the growth, and you are growing into your ministry.
Yes, that's exactly, yeah, like the ministry, like a woman of the cloth, like a holy woman. That's what she pulled. Isn't that interesting?
Mm. You're an empath also, Florida.
Yeah. So, and she talked about being universal. So God has you, and but it's okay. You don't have to suffer alone because you have a partner in spirit. All right, I think we have done our 2-hour party. Woohoo!
So
I think it was fun. We had about 600 people. Yes.
I was absent as I was rescuing my iPhone.
Yes.
From the very benevolent Lyft driver who returned to give it to me, which I'm very
angels among us.
Yes,
angels
exactly.
among us. I'm not surprised.
Can you kind of do like on the political? Can you do like a bullet point recap?
A bullet point recap is that for those people who don't know what happened, when we started doing the remotes about 2 years ago, it looked like the FBI had investigated under the Obama administration, and that they had fired Flynn because they were trying to find out about the leaks in the intelligence agencies. And that's also why they want Snowden, who's now in Moscow. So remember, a couple years ago, we had said that the real investigation was leaks inside the intelligence agency. So that's why they waited to sentence Flynn to see if Flynn was going to name other people. And the Mueller report will come back again because Mueller's intention was to catch the fly in the trap. And I think it's over, and I think that we're going to start seeing it collapse in the next few weeks. I think that Donald Trump will resign, but he's going to have to just hope that he has some mercy shown to him by the state, because he did he's in trouble for tax evasion. But people also need to know that Mueller already had the financial documents because Alan Weisselberg had immunity. So he did follow the money. He followed the money all the way to DC. We talked about that last year. And that is why we see a lot of Congress people being prosecuted, a lot of lobbyists being prosecuted and resigning and going to jail for taking dark money. And we just had the first guy who endorsed Trump, who came out of California, I believe he pled guilty, as did his wife.
Wow.
So a lot of people went to prison, and they indicted 8 lobbyists last week. So this was what the real investigation was. And it goes back to what the British intelligence had told us, which is that we're going to know everything in a very short amount of time. So, I mean, and it also goes back to what Hillary Clinton had said in her interview a couple of days ago, that we have been saved many, many times, and the American people, the world never knows about it. And this is one of those situations where we are going to know a little bit more about it as the weeks go by, but we'll never know the names of all the heroes. And we won't know the names of all the people in Congress, the lobbyists, et cetera, in DC, who are good people, that when they were threatened with being compromised, et cetera, they did report it to the FBI. And without those people coming forward, I don't think they would have been able to have done what they did, which is capture these people.
It's like, if I may interject, is like what's really amazing is you go through, if you look at the news and what you hear, the energy of the news, it's like, it's pretty dark.
Well, I don't think we're going to be running against Trump. We're like, got to be Trump. We got to be Pence and Nikki Haley, because I think that's who we're going up against. And Nikki Haley, she could swing it.
Okay. No, actually, my point was amazingly refreshing is to see all the really profoundly upright citizens there are.
Yes, that was the wonderful thing. The people that reported, the whistleblowers, everybody that came forward, and that was really heartening for me as a remote viewer to go in and see all these people that, did the right thing.
I think even as you were talking and doing the readings for a little bit that I felt, and as you two were going back, that was the one thing that's really striking me, because when you see the news, we know what the news is, but really this is all created by people, by us. And that doesn't necessarily make the news, but we're a nation made up of people. We're made up of citizens, and that's made up of citizens making really profound choices. And it's not easy when you're in that position to make a profound choice, but look what it does.
Yeah. I was just admiring your leather jacket.
Oh,
I'm getting a good look at you. Now, is this the hair that you were styling before?
Yeah, I was trying to style it, but it cut off.
I love the way she looks when she does her hair.
It got all wonky. Yes.
All right.
Raining.
Love and light to everybody. If you're trying to get into a session with Marcia Martin, the therapist, you can go to Facebook, Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer, and you can also find her website. She also does channelings here on YouTube, so be able to check that out as well. I'm sorry there were a ton of questions. We will have another party, and we will bring our ladies back. I promise. A very short question. I think we're done. Courtney has a very short question. Courtney, what was the question? Make it quick, because we're past 2 hours. Question, will my photography take off? Your photography will take off, but it's unique. And you know what it reminds me of when I go into the remote on you, Courtney? It reminds me of that woman that used to take pictures of babies inside plants. Those creative, and it was very creative and it was very unique. And there's something about your eye. Don't be afraid of your own magical creativity. And if you do that and you let your uniqueness come through, then you will find your audience. That's the message. All right. Peace out, everyone. We love you. We show gratitude to you. Thank you, everyone who participated in the super chat. We raised quite a bit of money for trees, and we thank you all. And we
saving the world.
And we'll see you next time. Peace out.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye. It was fun.